To delve deeper into the state of the unpredictable North Korean regime, as well as possible changes in policy that could affect it, and also dissect the Hermit Kingdom's current weapons capability, our Moon Connyoung sat down with Bruce Klingner, Senior Research Fellow at the Heritage Foundation and formerly the CIA's Deputy Division Chief for Korea. Take a look.
All right, Bruce Klingner, one of the world's go-to persons on North Korea and once a deputy chief for CIA's Korean analysis. Thank you so much for this interview. I'm going to get right to it. So, North Korea has been ratcheting up threats of launching an intercontinental ballistic missile, one that's far enough, long enough to reach mainland U.S. even. How dangerous is North Korea, and what's your assessment of the stability of the Kim Jong-un regime?
North Korea is extremely dangerous. It really is a spectrum of threats. I mean, we focus mostly on the nuclear threat and the missile threat. Obviously, they're a conventional threat. They're also a money laundering concern. They do illicit activities. They counterfeit our currency as well as the currency of other nations. They're a proliferation threat. So really, it's a broad spectrum. So
obviously, this threat from North Korea, a very real threat today. What about the stability of the Kim Jong-un regime?
It seems to be stable. We still have debates about whether the purges indicate a unstable, a weak and embattled leader who's desperately fighting off challenges. I think instead it shows that he is firmly in control. He's confident enough to go after even the senior leadership.
Now, I'm sure you're aware of the U.S. President Donald Trump's tweets on North Korea and North Korea's weapons capabilities. In your view, what is the Trump administration's policy vis-a-vis North Korea? It seems to be quite different from the previous administration, for sure.
Right. We're really not quite sure what the new administration's North Korea policy will be. The administration is still very new. It hasn't completed a policy review, and with other administrations that can take several months. So we're still waiting. That said, during the campaign on North Korea, he said everything from he'd be willing to have a hamburger summit with Kim Jong-un to he would pressure China to remove Kim Jong-un, even assassination. And he made no comments about sanctions.
We've also been hearing of reports of the possibility of the deployment of a U.S. Navy stealth, so the USS Zumwalt, to South Korea.
So particularly as North Korea increases its nuclear and missile capabilities, we have to have things like better missile defense systems, such as deploying the THAAD to the Republic of Korea.
China is another factor. China outright said that it opposes the USS Zumwalt if it is a possibility. It's repeatedly, time and time again, expresses opposition against THAAD being deployed in South Korea.
Right. Well, on THAAD, China's claims they're not only false, they're disingenuous. The THAAD is a defensive system. If you plot out the capabilities of the interceptor for THAAD as well as the X-band radar, the THAAD cannot intercept, let alone see, the Chinese missiles. So they know that, and they are simply using this missile defense system as a way of trying to drive a wedge between the U.S. and its allies.
Many experts have also pointed to China as being key to resolving North Korea's nuclear problem. What can we do to pressure China to change North Korea?
There are things China can and should do. More fully implement required UN resolution, the sanctions. And I mean, just to be a bit flip, I mean, they could be as obnoxious to North Korea as they have been to South Korea, Japan, and Southeast Asian nations. They're far more willing to try to threaten and pressure Seoul, Tokyo, and Southeast Asian nations than they are with their own ally, which is the country that's causing the rise in tensions.
All in all, what is your forecast of the dynamics in Northeast Asia for 2017?
Well, there's a disturbingly long list of reasons to be nervous. As we had questions or concerns about Mr. Trump's campaign statements, similarly, the U.S. now has questions about what the successor South Korean government will do. If it is a progressive government, as seems likely, would that government undo many of the positive developments we've had in foreign policy and security developments? Would a progressive government undo the THAAD deployment, undo the GSOMIA, the military intelligence sharing agreement between Tokyo and Seoul? Would it develop a more equal relationship, as one of the candidates said, between the United States and China, which would seem to be downplaying the alliance in favor of the economic relationship with China? So the U.S. also has concerns.
Right, so definitely 2017 will be a key year in shaping the another 50 years of South Korea-U.S. alliance.
Very much so, and I think every year has the potential for being very nerve-wracking, but I think 2017 certainly even more so.
All right, well, thank you so much for a very good wrap-up of the North Korea situation and the dynamics in Northeast Asia and a forecast for 2017. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.